Hello Slapafish community, welcome back to another World Tanks Console video. So in this video, I'm going to be playing the Tier 8 Soviet medium tank, the T-44. Now, how do I start this? So, this is the lowest 3-mark requirement of any tank besides artillery for Tier 8. It's at 2,300. To put that in perspective how bad that is, the Snakebite, which is a Tier 6 light tank, and it even has a low mark requirement for the tier is at 2,500 for its 3 marks. This one's at 2,300, and it is the third worst, if you include artillery, third worst mark of excellence requirement for tier 8. And why is that? Probably because of the gun that people use on this tank. And the gun for the final upgrade gun is the 122mm, not the 100mm. And there are some YouTubers that are saying that you should use the 122 over the 100mm, which is, no, don't do that. Seriously, do not do that, because there is so many disadvantages of using the 122 over the 100. So, now, also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing because it's free. It helps out the channel a ton, and I'm trying to hit 7,000 subscribers and see how fast I can do it. So, let's talk about the differences between. Also, side scraping the T-44 is also really, really nice, but your turret, don't let people shoot you in the turret, bait them up shooting your sides while you're side scraping, because your thickest part of your turret is 155mm. Anyway, so let's compare the two guns. Now, the advantages and the disadvantages of using the 100mm versus the 122. So, the 100mm, you have a better DPM at 2,000, and the 122 has a DPM of 1,829. So, yeah. The 122mm does 390 damage per shot, where the 100 does 300 damage per shot. Penetration on the 100 is 212 on standard, and the standard penetration on the 122 is 197. 190. So you have lower penetration on the 122. Also, if you're wondering what the premium penetration is, on both guns it's 247mm. So far, the 100mm has a better DPM, better penetration, and the 122 has better alpha because it's a bigger gun. Makes sense. Aim time is way better on the 100mm at 2.3 seconds on the 100 and 3.2 on the 122. Accuracy on the 100 is 0.35. 122 has a 0.42. Aim time and accuracy better on the 100mm. Gun depression. You actually get more gun depression when using the 100mm, which is why sacrifice gun depression to only gain alpha and sacrifice all that other stuff to gain alpha. Anyway, so the gun depression while using the 100mm is 7 degrees. So it's very workable 7 degrees of gun depression. When you put the 122mm, you lose 2 degrees. So you go to 5 degrees of gun depression. Also, you get slower. Yes, because it's a bigger gun, you are actually slower. The 100mm has a horsepower per ton of 20.03. The 122 is 19.91. It's not a big difference, but you are still slower when using the 122. And yeah, like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, really? Why would you sacrifice aim time, accuracy, gun depression, penetration, power to weight ratio to gain alpha for 390? And that's the only thing the 122 does over the 100. There's absolutely no reason to use the 122. Seriously, there's no reason. And I'm pretty sure... Wait, what's the penetration? Okay, so penetration on high explosive for your 100, it's 50, and on the 122, it is 61. Also, the 100 is also faster, has a better shell velocity on its premium round. It's 1,100 on its premium for the 100 millimeter, and for the 122, it's 1,000 meters faster on the 100 millimeter. Also, if you're wondering what I'm doing right here, I'm sitting in the bush. Since this is Melanovka, very open field, you kind of want to use these bushes to your advantage. And since I'm down to a one-shot and I'm bottom tier, I'm using these bushes to my advantage. While my team is pushing out, I'm also pushing out with them. And I'm not going to get spotted out in the open, but I can also spot people while I'm in these bushes. Also, this was during my 3-marking stream, so yeah. Trying to 3-mark the T-44. And it's super easy to 3-mark this tank because of how low the requirements are. Basically, the 100 millimeter is by far the better gun. I didn't really get to show off the 100 millimeter in this gun tank and this replay that much, but this is by far the better gun. I got to use the gun diversion, and using that gun diversion on this tank is really nice. 7 degrees versus the 5 degrees the 122 does. Like, you can try the 122 millimeter and you'll understand what I mean. Like, the 122 does not work on this tank. It sucks. The 100 millimeter is the better option. Don't think the 122, because it's a bigger caliber, is the better option. Also, the 122 can overmatch stuff, but that can only overmatch 41 millimeters of plates. Yeah, 40 millimeter plates. This can overmatch 33 millimeter plates. So close. But yeah, don't think the 122 is better than the 100 just because of that higher number and you unlock the 122 last. Some reason the 122 is the final gun for this tank. Do not use it. You can try it for a couple matches, but you'll have way better success using the 100 millimeter. And yeah, the 100 millimeter is also really, it's really good. I like the 100 millimeter. The T-44 with the 100 millimeter is a great tank. You can side scrape in this tank, do damage, get the DPM, and you're just a very flexible tank. And like I said, you can side scrape. Remember the armor of this tank kind of holds it back a little. Well, the turret armor, it's 150 at the front, 130 at the sides, so your turret armor doesn't really hold up. Don't go hold down, because meh. Unless you're top tier, tier 6s should struggle to go through your turret. But you also have, I believe, 90 millimeters of armor at the front and 75 at the side. I'm actually gonna double check that right quick. Yeah, it's 90 at the front and 75 at the sides. And the turret armor, the turret armor is actually 190, thicker than I thought it was, and 130 on the sides. So yeah, also the Shaitan Mark 6 is aiming at me, and I lit him on fire. So that's a really nice shot. And yeah, this tank's just really good. It's a really good tank. When I found out how low the Mark of Excellence requirements was, I'm like, why is it so low? Because this tank is just a really, really good tank. And a match like this can bump you up nearly 2%. Even when you're in the 90s. I mean, high 80s. That's just because of how low the Mark of Excellence requirement is for this tank. So yeah, use the 100 over the 122. That's it for this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, remember Slapafish because war's not, and peace out. See ya.